And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Bridge Troll is a game that has a theme that I think is hilarious. Ever since as a kid, I read the story of the three Billy Goats Gruff, and obviously the recent Shrek movies have increased people's. Oh, I guess he's an ogre. Well, whatever. Trolls and bridges go together, and this is an interesting game. Love the theme. Love how the theme works out. I have a few niggling problems with the game itself, but let's take a look at it first before I tell you my final opinion. Each player starts with an ogre, and there's some really, I have to say at this point that I really am a fan of the artwork of this game. They did a good job with the different ogres that you can get, and it's an enjoyable part of the theme, because as an ogre, you have your bridge, and you want to make your bridge look nicer. And you'll be doing that by getting these points, which at the end of the game are worth the number of points shown on it, or by bridge upgrade cards, which are worth the points on them plus 1. This card is worth 14 points. So how do you do that? Well, it depends on how many players are playing, but you set the game up, and each player gets a number of boulders in their color, and the boulders are wooden cubes. Yes, wooden cubes again. I know that this probably would have added to the cost of the game, but I think it would have been neat had the boulders been, I don't know, boulders or something, but cubes. All right, well, whatever. So you have a certain amount of cubes that are your color that you start the game with, and then along comes travelers who are walking down the road. The player whose turn it is rolls a die, and on this die are different kinds of weather. Here you see stormy weather, sunny weather, then there's partly cloudy and cloudy weather. So let's say, for example, that I rolled a partly sunny weather. Well, then we look at the card over here, and this card is different depending on how many players are playing. Here you can see 3 trolls. This is for a 3-player game. And partly sunny means 5 travelers are going to be coming down the road. So the first card that we draw, the first traveler, is placed face down. After that, the other 4 travelers are placed face up. Each traveler has different statistics. They have a money statistic, and that is if you decide to let them cross your bridge and you make them pay a toll. As a good troll, you need money, so if you decide to go that route with the person, they'll count towards your money. Or you can decide to eat them up. So as you see, for example, here, the pawnbroker, if you toll him, he'll give you 6 money, but if you eat him, he'll give you 4 food. Over here, the wandering minstrels are worth 5 money and 3 food. And this priest here is 6 money, but he's very thin, so provides a little food. Then there's a bandit who is going to steal your money. Now, players are going to be taking these people, and so they're going to be bidding their boulders. Now, it doesn't matter what color boulders you have. As the game progresses, you will be getting boulders in multiple different colors. But when you bid, you can only bid using one kind. So players secretly bid how many boulders they're going to use. The player who bids the most goes first. The player who bids the second most goes second, etc. And there's little tokens that you can take that show. If you bid no boulders, you decide to close your bridge. You'll put this marker on it to show that your bridge is closed. The reason you would close your bridge is it's a way to get more boulders. I'm not going to go into every little detail of the rules here, but just anyone who closes their bridge has a chance to get more boulders from the general supply. Other than that, whoever bids the least is going to take any set of boulders that they want, so they'll usually take the person who bid the most boulders, but they might not. They might take one that has colors, a color that they have a lot of and they want to increase their bid. But everyone gets some of the boulders back. So likely, as the game progresses, you'll have boulders in various colors from the different people who are involved in the game. Anyone who didn't shut their bridge down, in turn order, starts taking these people. You can take any of the face-up people, or you can take your chance and take the face-down person, who in this instance is a great one, is a fat merchant, 7 money or 7 food. When you take somebody from the lineup, you then must immediately add them to your tolls collected side or to your food supply, where they will count for that number. And if you take more than one person, you're fine. If this bandit comes along, he's going to take your toll collected, the highest one you have, but you can fight him off by throwing boulders at him, and those boulders are lost to you and they go to the general supply, where again you can close your bridge and get those boulders back. And that's how each turn progresses. At the end of a turn, you're allowed to turn in people from both sides of the bridge. So say, for example, here I have this guy who's worth seven food, and this guy's worth 6 money. I can turn them in together for 6 points. And I would take these points here in the middle for worth 6 points. And obviously I'm going to lose $1 on that, so I might want to wait till I have more people, but there are all kinds of dangerous things that might come and take people off of my side of the bridge. There are other ways to get points. There are a few travelers who give you points straight up, and also whoever wins the bid each turn gets 1 point. And eventually, if you get enough points, you can go to the pile of cards of bridge upgrades and buy the top one, which is worth the number of points on it, plus 1 at the end of the game. And this continues until all the travelers have come through. As I mentioned, there's different travelers. For example, here's a princess. As you can see, she's worth 5 food, but she could be worth 13 gold if you manage to get the royal messenger. He'll change her from food to gold. Or the jester, he lets you bid different cubes on your turn. And there's all different sorts of cards that you can pick from. And hey, look, it's the Billy Goat Gruffs, who are kind of a pain. They might make you lose points, but if you have enough boulders in different colors, you can fight off the Billy Goat's Gruff and get points. At the end of the game, you add up the points. Whoever has the most points is the winner. It's a fairly quick game. It takes about 30-45 minutes. As I mentioned, the theme is really enjoyable. The idea of people coming down the road and you taking somebody and deciding to eat them, the evil troll that you are, and get food, or the idea of taking their money and then matching those up. However, in practice, there's a few small problems I have with the game. One of them is there's quite a few negative cards in the deck of travelers. Not too many. I mean, there's obviously many more good cards, but it's very possible that at the beginning of the game, several of these negative cards come up, which makes the first rounds kind of boring. And sometimes you win a bid to get some good people, and then you turn over a face-up card or something, and it kind of completely takes you out of contention, at least for that round. We also found that the scores were very varied, because one person sometimes would just get really lucky with their bidding. The theme works well. Eat people, throw boulders to scare off robbers. The idea of bidding boulders to get travelers to come, that doesn't really make any sense thematically, at least to me. I mean, the book tries to explain it, the rules try to explain it, but it doesn't really work that well. But still, it's an interesting game. I wish the Traveler's deck was a little bit more varied, maybe, and had... I suppose it's fairly balanced, but we found oftentimes that many people built very few upgrades at all, because they would do well, and then along would come a dragon and kill their people. I don't know. It seems almost like it's a better family game than it is a deep strategy game. That may be what the designer intended, and in that regard, they succeeded. The components are really nice. I really, really like the artwork. Great artwork. And it's fun. It's just not so much fun that I can see myself playing it that often. I enjoyed the idea of the game, but the execution just wasn't as interesting as I thought it would be.
Thanks for joining us today. For more written, audio, and video reviews, as well as the #1 board game podcast, check out the website at www.thedicetower.com. Until then, this is Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.